So today, we're going to dive into a book called Free Agent Lifestyle by a guy named Coach Greg Adams. And let me tell you, it offers a pretty controversial roadmap for men navigate the modern dating world. It's all built around one central goal: achieving peace, quiet, and freedom. Let's see what that actually means. Okay, so the whole philosophy of this book, it all kicks off from what the author calls his own massive, life-altering mistake. This quote right here really sets the tone. It's a personal story of loss that he believes is a critical lesson that all men need to hear.
All right, so if we're going to understand the free agent solution, we've got to first dig into the problem, right? And for the author, it all started with his own marriage. So he lays out this personal story, a divorce that just completely wiped him out. We're talking his home, almost 60 grand. He ended up literally living out of his car. This was his absolute rock bottom moment, and it's what forced him to question everything he ever believed about relationships.
And this is where he takes his own story and kind of blows it up into a much bigger argument. He points to this number right here, 83%, saying that's how many divorces are filed by women. And for him, that's proof that the whole system is just fundamentally risky for guys. But he doesn't stop there. He takes a look at that classic 50% of marriages end in divorce idea and says, hold on a second. He argues that even if you look at the marriages that don't end, most of them are only holding on because of things like money or for the kids' sake. He claims only a tiny 1% are actually happy. Okay, so he's laid out what he sees as this huge problem. Now, what's the fix? That's where he introduces the free agent lifestyle. You know, the central idea here is actually pulled directly from professional sports. Think about it. A free agent is an athlete whose contract is up. He's not locked into one team anymore. He's got options, he's got leverage, he holds the power to go wherever he thinks is best for him. The author takes that exact logic and applies it to a man's relationships. And this chart, this really drills down to the core of his argument. On one side, you have the committed player, always under pressure, always having to meet the team's needs. But the free agent? Totally different ballgame. He gets praised for what he does, he calls his own shots, and he holds all the cards.
So, okay, what does this actually look like day to day? The author calls these the tenets of the lifestyle, basically the core principles. It's all about staying unchained, having very few commitments, living a simple, debt-free life, and, this is the big one, always keeping your power and your options open.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is where the big ideas and the philosophy that turned into a set of really strict, practical rules for how to live. This is the tactical guide. So this whole lifestyle really boils down to 3 big don'ts. Rule number 1, never move in with a woman. He says you'll just lose control of your own space. Rule 2, avoid long-term relationships. He basically sees them as a trap, a pathway that leads straight to marriage. And that brings us to rule number 3, avoid marriage at all costs. He calls it the ultimate mistake, the thing that completely kills a man's freedom. So, if you're not doing all that, what are you doing? Well, the book calls it going solo. And this isn't about being lonely. It's about actively choosing to do things by yourself. Go to dinner, travel, whatever, because you want to. The whole point is, you end up saving a ton of time, a ton of money, and a whole lot of mental energy. And this quote right here, this is like the operating system for the free agent. When things don't add up, start subtracting. It's pretty straightforward, right? Instead of trying to fix a situation or a relationship that's just not working, you just remove yourself. You subtract. If it's not serving you, you're out. Okay, now we're getting into what the author says is the single hardest concept for most men to wrap their heads around. It's a complete mindset shift about value in the dating world. Yeah, the book just comes right out and asks, who is really providing the tangible, measurable value in a relationship? And by asking this, he's setting up let's just say, a very controversial argument. And here's the answer he gives. The argument is that what men provide is concrete. You can measure it: a house, a car, financial stability. But what women provide, things like love, loyalty, trust, he argues that's all subjective, it's unmeasurable, and because of that, his conclusion is that in the vast majority of relationships, like 97%, the man is the actual asset. So if you buy into that idea, what do? Well, the book gives a very clear set of actions. Stop handing out compliments and validation like it's free candy. Stop playing the game where you always have to approach. Stop liking selfies on social media.
The idea is to make women actually work for your attention. You have to start acting like you are the prize. So you follow all these rules. You make this massive mindset shift. What's it all for? What's the end game? That's what this final section is all about. Yeah, the whole point here is not to chase what society tells you is success. You know, the wife, the kids, the house. Nope. The entire purpose of this lifestyle, according to the author, is to achieve what he calls PQF. Peace, quiet, and freedom. That's it. That's the ultimate goal. And this quote just nails the whole philosophy. It's saying, hey, we're not hitting the gym or reading books to be more attractive to women. We're not trying to become a better husband or provider. Any self-improvement is purely for yourself. End of story. So, there you have it. The free agent lifestyle is basically a playbook for men who want complete and total control over their own lives, and it sees modern relationships as the biggest roadblock to that. It's a strategy, for sure, but it leaves us with a really big question to chew on. Is that kind of ultimate individual freedom really worth what you might be giving up?